All right, so despite of how tired I might be, I decided to do this little episode of Strike Force mainly because of the reason that I will not be available this Sunday afternoon to do my usual Sunday afternoon Strike Forces because of work-related stuff. But other than that, hello everybody, I am the Dark Conservatarian and welcome back to another Strike Force news stream. And today we will be talking about a little thing that I had stored in my WordPad about Oprah Winfrey, a magazine of hers, promoting "Shout Your Abortion" movement, and saying that you should shout your abortion just sounds outright pro-abort, like actual full-on pro-abortion, not just merely pro-choice, but just flat out pro-abort. And also talking about Brett Kavanaugh's situation and what he has to say about abortion as well. Hello, Russ, man.
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Glad you could join. Not much. Jocelyn picking fights again with me.
I saw it's so easy to disprove. I just commented, laughing my fucking ass off. I cut your video down to 30 minutes. DarkCon cut it down to 12. He cut out various parts and snipped in others. I mean, it's pretty clearly fair use because you did transform it from what it was over in a shitty 2-hour stream or whatever, which he took down because he realized he was bitch made. Then I cut it. It's like it's pretty obvious. It went from the original shitty stream it was to a dank 2016 meme quality video, which those are still pretty dank.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This time, bitch, it won't be a false flag.
So, yeah, I mean, enough with that patheticness, though. I closed down Twitter, so I will not be distracted by that cancer. But other than that, I mean, S-Man, I know that you are a pro-choicer. I mean, we just talked about this recently.
Yeah.
But what do you feel about the Shout Your Abortion movement? Of course, you've heard about this before in one of Sargon's videos that happened a couple of years back. What do you think of it?
I think it's fucking disgusting. I think that if you know, abortion should be treated for what it is. It's not an easy thing. So to see people fucking say, shout your abortion, it's like the fuck is wrong with you? Who does this shit?
People who consider it to be a hobby.
Oh God, I can imagine. I can imagine Lena Dunham considering it a hobby, but she would need a man to
Oh,
stick a
fuck.
dick in her, and no man wants to touch that.
Oh, yeah. So, anyway, Oprah's magazine promotes Shout Your Abortion movement, the quote, inspiration, unquote, section of entertainment celebrity Oprah Winfrey's magazine. So, this might not actually be Oprah herself endorsing this, but anyway, promotes the founder
Oh,
of
that scared me. Your audio just fucked up for a second. That scared the shit out of me.
Oh,
Oh
well,
my God.
either that or I just said "oh" right there, like in an extra uh in an exaggerative way or something. But anyway, O promotes the founder of a movement to publicly celebrate abortion and her new Shout Your Abortion book. Okay, so never mind. Maybe Oprah herself is outright endorsing this. Not only is the magazine doing it, but the person who owns the magazine as well. I mean, if she's making a book about it.
Oh
Anyway.
God. That book's probably gonna be an abortion itself.
It will be if it absolutely flops at the New York Times bestseller list.
It will.
Doesn't
It will
make it.
flop. It'll flop worse than her floppy old vagina.
Oh shit! No, I don't want to picture that. But at least it isn't Hillary Clinton's abandoned coal mine.
It's gonna be blacker though.
Oh shit! Okay, let's continue on before we get too ahead of ourselves. Anyway, the magazine's July 2018 issue features how one woman became an activist with the hashtag shout your abortion, also posted on Oprah.com on July 13. The inspiration article is a narrative written by Amelia Bono, however you pronounce that, Bono, describing how her support for federal funding of Planned Parenthood and her gratitude for her own abortion prompted her to launch the Shout Your Abortion movement. What do you mean gratitude? Like people were praising your own abortion or something? Like, eesh. What kind of minded people do you have in your family? When I found out that the House of Representatives had voted to defund Planned Parenthood, I've kind of unraveled, and this article right here will go into further detail with that. But anyway, I opened Facebook and, without thinking, wrote, like a year ago, I had an abortion at Planned Parenthood, and I remember this experience with a nearly inexpressible level of gratitude. I hit post 153 words later, and everything changed. When a friend tweeted a photo of her Facebook post with the hashtag #shoutyourabortion, the movement took off, Bono says, but now, adding that she has no shame about killing her unborn child.
Oh my fucking god! Why? Okay. This is why I hate the term pro-abortion, is because people like this, whenever like I want them to call themselves pro-abortion, so us pro-choicers don't look like fucking idiots, because this shit is unbelievable. How do these people not have any ability, any self-awareness to realize that some of these actions are fucking like these actions are just insensitive? Like, imagine if someone's like, shout your sexual assault, like you've been raped or something. Wouldn't you be like thinking, oh wow, oh, these people like who have been sexually assaulted, it's gonna be hard for them to talk about. Yet, imagine if people were that stupid to shout your rape or something. I mean, I hope no one's that stupid, but I mean, if people were that stupid to be like, hashtag shout your abortion.
No, shit. I don't need a Cult of Ham impersonation.
Too late, bitch.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the forbidden word. The forbidden word.
No, okay. No, Dark Con, I'm sorry.
That was worse than Cult of Ham. Okay, so I almost forgot to go ahead and promote this stream on the self-promotion server of Discord of Frank Shandor's. Yeah. He said go ahead and promote it. Like, don't forget to self-promo on there. But anyway, so yeah. I just yeah, I mean, this is an example of people like giving credibility to the term and proving that there are actually people out there who are pro-abort. And yeah, what's the fucking bitch's name? Nicole Arbor. You can just eat a big one. Well, actually, no, she probably liked that.
I'm very confident that the reason she is pro-choice or she's pro-abortion or whatever is, I'm pretty sure she got smashed by a dude. He left. She found out she was pregnant. She realized that she was being kind of a dumb slut, and she's like, oh fuck. So she didn't want to deal with that, so she just gets the abortion. I can imagine that. Or she realized that, oh wait, I'm gonna have real responsibilities. This isn't gonna be some cute pet project like a lot of things that people have done in the media or whatever. This is not going to be some cute thing. This is actual responsibilities. Holy shit. And then she hits the abort button faster than she hit Matthew Santoro.
Oh, wait a minute. Is that actually a thing?
Yeah, there are
Matthew Santoro and Nicole Arbor are a couple.
They were a couple. Bitch used to hit him a lot.
Oh, what a cock.
Well, it was domestic. So that fucker now makes a video on me. Fuck, I have a bigger and more important video that when I release it's going to be a big one.
Ooh, what? Josselman just did?
Yeah, he's like, S-Man learns fair use even though I don't understand how to use proper English. Fucking pussy.
Okay. Oh, man. Jeez. This might end up me getting dragged into the point that I will have to make a post-Josselgate review. Holy fuck! Anyway,
yeah, you have fun dealing with that pudgy ball of autism.
Oh shit! on some level, I would internalize that doesn't make any sense. That's improper grammar right there. Like typo. On some level, I internalized the stigma, though I honestly wasn't ashamed. Then why hide? According to O Magazine's Media Kit, her publication reaches 1 in 13 women in America, has 10 million readers, 2 million social media followers, and another 4 million unique visitors to its website version. End of article. And also, there was portion of this article that I forgot to respond to, and that was her bitching about Planned Parenthood being defunded. I mean, if your sole concern is abortions and you're talking about Planned Parenthood being defunded, I mean, why are you complaining? I mean, isn't the money not going to abortions? I mean, I thought that was what it typically was. The argument was.
I'll be right back. I gotta listen to this shitty video. I think I'm gonna die laughing. So.
Oh, geez. All right. You have fun with that. Anyway, S-Man is AFK right now. So anyway, I mean, in all honesty, maybe the money that goes to Planned Parenthood does not directly go to the abortions. But if they don't directly go to the abortions, well, then why is the bitch that wrote the article that is on Oprah's magazine, why is she bitching about Planned Parenthood being defunded if all of her concern is just abortions? So, anyway. And speaking of Planned Parenthood, Rand Paul's bid to defund Planned Parenthood. I'm going to have to ask S-Man how he feels about Planned Parenthood, because I know how he feels about abortion. He feels that it is a necessary evil. But actually, in late terms, he believes that it's a flat-out evil. But in, say, early and mid-terms, he says legally allow it, like 24 weeks and below. But anyway, I'm meandering too much. But I never got his take on Planned Parenthood. It was why that I'm curious about S-Man. Okay. Fairly short article. This story was updated Friday to show the Senate vote against Senator Rand Paul's effort to defund Planned Parenthood. Oh, boy. Okay. So, again, defund Planned Parenthood has been voted down as it had been before. By a vote of 45 to 48, his amendment was rejected. Okay, another typo from another article. It would have barred Planned Parenthood and other abortion outlets from receiving federal funding. Yes, and even if I was a pro-choicer myself, I would at least not want my own tax dollars going towards, you know, essentially killing other individuals. All right. The Kentucky senator late last week signaled that he would offer an amendment to the appropriations bill funding the Departments of Labor and Health and Human Services, the relevant legislative vehicle for the Planned Parenthood funding ban. Paul said in a statement that his effort was being blocked by leadership, but they rejected that claim and he did get a vote Thursday. President Trump has proposed cutting funds to Planned Parenthood. The agency gets federal funds for its women's health care, but not abortion. Though polls suggest that Republicans want the money train ended because it does abortion or refers to others what do. Right. I mean, that's a general thing that I'm hearing is that Planned Parenthood doesn't get money that goes directly into abortions. But here's the thing. I mean, if you're giving money to an organization that provides abortion along with other services, but they're only given money for supposedly just them other services, well, here's the thing. They can like direct their own money instead of having to direct their own money to spread out amongst all their services, including abortion. They would only focus their money towards just abortion, whereas everything else is being paid for. I mean, any way that you spell it, it doesn't matter if the money goes to directly the abortion practices of Planned Parenthood. It doesn't matter. You're still promoting the organization in order to give them more financial stability so that they can pay for their own abortions that they are servicing other people. In other words, giving, I guess what essentially can be summed up to free abortions. I don't know. Is the abortions provided at Planned Parenthood like completely free, or are they just subsidized by their own dollar, whereas the woman coming for the abortion only pays like pennies on the dollar or something? I don't know. But either way that you spell it, no money for Planned Parenthood, so that maybe it would be more expensive for them to like practice out their abortions. Whatever other services Planned Parenthood provides, though, if people insist to keep on those services up, I say give the money to different organizations that would provide those said services, but don't provide abortions at the same time. I mean, I do not know specifically if there are actually other organizations that provide some of the similar services that Planned Parenthood does aside from abortion, but if there was, fund them instead of Planned Parenthood. A recent McLaughlin and Associates survey found that a plurality, 48%, support cutting funds. Well, that's cool. I presume that some of that 48% is also a few pro-choicers in there that just don't like their tax dollars being used for stuff like this. In a statement announcing his amendment, Paul said one of the top priorities for a Republican Congress that professes pro-life values on the campaign trail should be to stop taxpayer funding for abortion providers. He added, okay, key word there, Rand Paul is not being an idiot. He says funding for abortion providers, not funding for abortions. If he said funding for abortions, well, then you might have a little bit of a point by saying that he is being misinformed and to say that the money is for abortion. But they're still for organizations that provide abortion, even though they're not directly for the abortion, the funding, I mean. He added, this is our chance to turn our words into action, stand up for the sanctity of life, and speak out for the most innocent among us that have no voice. You know, I do not know what exactly is the full extent of Rand Paul's Roe v. Wade beliefs. I mean, I know for certain that I have heard Austin Peterson, who was like one of the libertarian candidates for the 2016 presidential election, going up against Gary Johnson and John McAfee and the rest of them. His opinion on Roe v. Wade, Austin Peterson, I mean, was that he was against abortion, but he thought just to leave Roe v. Wade alone. I mean, what does Rand Paul think on that? Does he think to leave Roe v. Wade alone as well, or does he?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure?
Yeah. Okay, so I saw the video. The dude's such a pussy. He can't respond in the comments. Anyway, yeah, I think that I would like.
What? He's already getting a bunch of comments.
No, but I'm about to leave his ass some. Anyway, okay. Here's the thing. I would say that, you know, with Kavanaugh, you know, just saying I'll respect it is not enough. I would argue if you're going to be not Chief Justice, Associate Justice, you should just spill the beans, spit it out. You know, you're anti-abortion, Dark Khan. You know, if you're going to be Associate Justice of the Supreme Court or even Chief Justice, I think you, unlike Kavanaugh, would have the balls to just say your position on abortion, and if they don't like it.
Well, I don't know. I mean, we're going to be diving deep into Brett Kavanaugh here in a little bit. We're not there yet. We're still talking about Rand Paul's bid to defund Planned Parenthood. But just by going off of the titles alone of these articles, it's looking like Brett Kavanaugh is pretty pro-choice, which means that he will strike more into your favor just a little bit more.
Yeah. Okay, I do have to go. I really need to get this video out. I'm hoping to get it out before the 7th. So you take care, Dark Khan. And,
all right, you do that shit.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right. See ya.
Yep. See you later. And then there was only one. And so, hello, RK2K Dragon. How you doing? He says, why, hello. Actually, his chat comment was left in the chat a little while ago, but, excuse me. But just now, I'm actually reading it out. And, hi, RK, if you're still in the chat. I don't know if he still is watching this video or not, because I got only one viewer, and I think that one viewer might just be myself monitoring the chat. Anyway, the language is similar to what the House passed in July. It would still allow funding for women's health providers not involved in abortion. Okay, so with that little caveat right there, well then, people should not be demagoguing of how, oh, Republicans, they just want to like overturn women's reproductive rights by defunding free abortion. Or, okay, they don't want to. Okay, I mean, obviously the goal is to stop the funding of abortions, but they shouldn't be able, or people who are like speaking out against Republicans who are pushing for the defunding of Planned Parenthood, they would not be legitimate in criticizing Republicans by saying, oh, you are looking to overturn other aspects of women's health by defunding Planned Parenthood, not just abortions. But there's this little caveat that says, no, we are just trying to defund organizations that are associated with abortion. The other organizations that provide other things associated with women's health, like breast cancer screenings or mammograms or ultrasounds and other such things, they can stay funded. But except for Planned Parenthood, even though they might provide those said services, because they also provide, you know, abortions. LifeSiteNews.com. Okay, so I've read lifesitenews.com and I got some of my information from them. I'm going to be honest right there. I actually need to like get into the citations of this one LifeSite article that I've been holding in reserve for a bit, because if I was to like cite out LifeSite News to somebody in a debate, they would probably laugh out loud saying, "Oh, you are citing a website that has obvious biases." And the fact that Washington Examiner is citing lifesitenews.com, I'm not going to say outright that lifesitenews.com is biased, but it's easy enough for somebody to just say, oh, lifesitenews.com is biased, so I'm going to dismiss it, like a leftist was to dismiss Fox News, or a right-winger was to dismiss MSNBC, and so on and so forth. Anyway, but I'm getting too ahead of myself. LifeSiteNews.com reported that Planned Parenthood received more than $543 million in fiscal year 2016 through 2017. The site added, it is forbidden from spending that money directly on most abortions. It is forbidden from spending that money directly on most abortions. Okay, so here's a little factoid that even a pro-life website is willing to admit to pro-choicers in going ahead and admitting, yes, Planned Parenthood does not use its money directly to abortions. So yeah, there's a little bit of a sign of unbiasedness from LifeSiteNews.com. So good job. But pro-lifers warn that subsidies earmarked for non-abortion purposes ultimately enable abortion groups to commit more abortions by freeing up money from their other revenue services. Yes, that's exactly the point that I was articulating a little bit earlier. Duke University healthcare analyst Chris Conover estimates that taxpayers end up covering almost 25% of all abortion costs. What's up, JJ?
Hello. Sorry I didn't join earlier. I was at a birthday party.
Oh, no. That's cool. I mean, of course, people have other priorities. But anyway, so I just got done reading about Shout Your Abortion and Rand Paul's bid to defund Planned Parenthood. I mean, what do you think of Shout Your Abortion, of whatever you might have heard of it?
I think it's just downright retarded, to be honest. I mean, why should you be proud of your abortion? I mean, sure. Like I've said, I'm more so pro-abortion than anti-abortion, of course. But I don't think it's something to be proud of. It's just something that, think of it sort of like paying taxes. You're not proud to pay taxes, but you do it.
Okay, so you view abortion as a necessary evil in the same light of taxes.
It's sort of like how S-Man thinks, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, just to FYI, everybody, JJ Skinner, and Google it. If you're listening, I hope you're listening. JJ does not agree with me on abortion, so there is a sign of JJ not constantly sucking my dick on every one of my positions, all right?
But then she's going to say, oh, he's sucking off S-Man now.
Oh, God. Not on religion, though. Not
True, I am Christian, so, ha.
And he obviously is atheist, but anyway, that's aside the point. That's just me busting Googlet's balls. I'm just being figurative.
Wait, did you just say she had balls?
No.
Busting her vagina. There you go.
Oh, sure. But I never heard a term like busting a person's vagina, but I've heard the term bust your balls before, though.
I just feel like it works better for a woman than it does.
Okay, but you get what I'm trying to say there.
I know. I'm just busting your balls.
But yeah, I mean, I listen. Okay, little side subject right here. I mean, just deviating away from Brett Kavanaugh for a little bit. I mean, I saw that one live stream that you had with Conundrum talking about Humane Mind, and she joined the live chat right there and was saying that you follow every one of my beliefs, and I was all like, wait, what? Does Google it not know what JJ Skinner's abortion beliefs are? I mean, she obviously knows my abortion beliefs, but if she were to know your abortion beliefs, I think she would say, no, JJ is not following every Zach's every whim.
Yeah, I more so agree with you guys and you and S-Man, more so because I feel like that leans more towards my morality.
Right. I mean, this is not me trying to like lamb-based Google it, because as far as I know, actually she's been like she just randomly DM'd me asking of how was I, and you know, just a general cordial chat over private DMs.
Really?
But this is not me trying to be mean to her, because obviously she seems to be having a cool head as of recently, at least. But this is just me stating fact that she once said that you follow every one of my whims, when really that could not be further from the truth, because you know, abortion.
Yeah.
And probably some other issues that I could like go and try and dig in, but we aren't going to do that right now. We are just going to like continue on with the hearings.
Brett Kavanaugh.
Yeah, what do you know of Brett Kavanaugh?
Not really much, actually. I've heard the name all over the news, of course, because, you know, I listen to the news, but I don't really know what he's done other than maybe piss off the Democrats.
He's being considered for a SCOTUS nomination in the
Oh,
Supreme Court of the United States.
yes.
I actually did a full episode of Strike Force devoted to reading articles talking about his individual positions and whatnot. And overall, I would say that he's pretty that I'm pretty approving of him. Excuse me. I mean, he's pretty pro-gun rights. He's pro-immigration enforcement, is what I remember. At least I thought I remembered him being pro-life as well, but some of these articles are saying otherwise. I mean, he almost seems like a pro-choicer. I mean, if he really is a pro-choicer, well, then that would mean that Daily Caller is wrong for saying that he would be the second most conservative judge on the Supreme Court of the United States, because, you know, his abortion beliefs not being anything but conservative.
Hey, quick question. I know this is a little bit deviating, but did you hear about the whole Nike and Colin Kaepernick situation?
I watched War Corpse's video on it, but I do not know exactly what is going on. People are like, I guess, what is it? Colin Kaepernick is calling for a boycott or something against Nike, or
No,
some-
a lot of conservatives are calling on a boycott and burning their shoes and all that sort of stuff. Sort of like how it was with the conservatives and the NFL last year.
right.
No, I'm just gonna say I do not like Colin Kaepernick, especially for what he stands, because he's a good for nothing BLM supporter. But I don't think you should go and freak out. And of course, they're using the images, trying to fix the thing. The conservatives trying to fix it using Pat Tillman's face. And I'm like, at first I was like, yeah, but then I think, but what does Pat Tillman's family think?
Yeah, I mean, I could not. Overall, I couldn't care less really about the whole issue. Thus is why that I am just talking about Kavanaugh hearings rather than Nike boycotts or whatever. I did like one episode on the hashtag take a knee stance. I mean, it was. Yeah, I guess that was the most that I cared about the circumstance. I mean, it was mainly responding to an article that was saying of how it's disrespectful to use the American flag this way and that way and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I have to agree with you.
According to some U.S. flag code, that doesn't make sense, because it literally could be burned and it would not be considered disrespectful under that.
Yeah, because
US
if it
flag
touches
code.
the ground and you burn it, that's actually a sign of respect.
Oh, right. I mean, there's a standard that you're supposed to burn it if it like touches the ground or gets dirty or anything like that. But if it's like clean and untarnished, there is no code saying that if you burn it, you're thus disrespecting the flag, which makes me think that that U.S. flag code is not really relevant.
No, I mean, if I see someone stepping on the flag, yeah, I'm gonna get pissed.
Yeah.
Like on purpose. Now, if
but-
they accidentally step on and apologize, I'm not gonna get mad at them.
Right. But also, according to the U.S. flag code, it's disrespectful for you to hold the flag in like a flat skyward position, which that did not make any sense to me.
I don't even know what that means.
You know, flat and facing skyward, like the stripes and
Oh, Oh.
stripes and stars facing towards the sky, like they were holding it.
I don't get how that would be disrespectful.
Yeah, I don't get that either, which is why that the U.S. flag kind of boggled me. And what boggled me even more is why that it did not consider burning the flag if it's untarnished to be disrespectful. Did not make sense.
Yeah, but onwards back to Brett Kavanaugh.
Right. Cult of Ham says, "I'll shout my abortion."
Yeah, your butt baby abortion.
Anyway, Brett Kavanaugh is testifying, but Democrats aren't listening. While it is said that the Senate is the greatest deliberative body on earth, it should not be assumed that its members are automatically deliberative individuals. Just look at the senior senator from Hawaii. Tweeting before thinking, apparently, Senator Brian Schatz, a Democrat, shared a picture of a sassy cat with a sassy caption. At first, I thought the cat was dubbing for a second there. I don't know.
You thought it was dabbing. What?
I literally thought the cat was dabbing for a second there, but then I saw its arm is reaching downward while its right arm is reaching up.
I don't get how people can do that. I really don't.
Dab?
No, I mean like how they can make like pictures like that on Twitter.
Oh, I see. Yeah, especially that little W-looking sign right there. That looks like a very curved W. But anyway, no one is above the law, and that is not obvious to Kavanaugh. Okay, so this is something like corruption related. Like somebody is like pointing out as supposedly of how Kavanaugh ignores the law or something. I guess Washington Examiner is
citation needed.
Debunk that myth. Yeah, citation needed. Let's get on with it. Thinking before speaking, a full 2 hours beforehand, though, Supreme Court nominee Judge Brett Kavanaugh literally said exactly the opposite when responding to a question from Senator Dianne Feinstein, Democrat of Florida, Democrat of California. Damn it,
Florida.
Yeah, my bad. No one is above the law in our constitutional system. Under our system of government, the executive branch is subject to the law, subject to the court system. This is not some complex point. This is constitutional principle, one that Schatz would have picked up on if he was actually watching the hearing. Above everything, Kavanaugh is a law and order judge who upholds a constitution over his own biases. Look to the more than 300 cases he decided while sitting on the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals. There isn't any adventurous judicial revisionism in those opinions, just a jurisprudence guided by consistent originalism. It is true that Kavanaugh declined to answer questions about specific cases or address hypothetical situations, and granted, Kavanaugh wouldn't answer whether a president has the absolute right to pardon himself, but when Schatz's colleagues on the Senate Judiciary Committee ask Kavanaugh these questions, they're asking an impartial justice to be partial to their point of view. Soon, the nation might be gripped with one of these existential constitutional questions. If that happens, sassy cat emojis won't offer any guidance, and neither will Schatz. But if confirmed, Kavanaugh will get closer to the answer to the question. He has sought to uphold the rule of law, not make it or bend it to his preferences. Okay.
It sounds a lot like that the Democrats are getting really pissy and all that.
Yep. Anyway. Continuing on, I got 3 more articles about this, about the hearings. I mean, they're mainly talking about Brett Kavanaugh on abortion, or more specifically, Roe v. Wade, Brett Kavanaugh on Kennedy, and an Obama supporter on Brett Kavanaugh. But they're all tied to abortion in one way or another. So this is like an abortion-filled episode of Strike Force.
Yay, abortion!
Yeah, just a thing to brighten up our day. Right?
Exactly, killing, I guess not exactly babies yet, but you know what I mean. Not something I want to talk about all the time.
Technically, by definition, 8 weeks and past, they are considered like unborn babies. Like a fetus is, by definition, an unborn baby for past 8 weeks, or 8 weeks and past conception. But anyway, enough about.
You know what I mean.
Enough.
I don't want to talk about abortion a lot. Yeah.
Right. Kavanaugh, Roe v. Wade, an important precedent of the Supreme Court that's been reaffirmed many times. Now, going by off just the title alone, I could probably conclude that he is pretty much a pro-choicer, but there might be more nuance to what he's trying to say. So that's why we're going to dive into this article. Is Roe v. Wade settled precedent, or could it be overturned? And myself personally, I had like this was like one of the things that was part of the recent stream that I had one-on-one with S-Man on his abortion beliefs, is that I think that that is not a done debate, not a done battle on whether Roe v. Wade could be overturned. You'll disagree with me, JJ, on whether it actually should be overturned, but yeah. In response to Senator Dianne Feinstein's question at his confirmation hearing on Wednesday, Judge Brett Kavanaugh gave the following answer. Senator, I said that it's settled as a precedent of the Supreme Court and entitled the respect under principles of stare decisis. I think that's how you pronounce it. Of stare decisis. One of the important things to keep in mind about Roe v. Wade is that it has been reaffirmed many times over the past 45 years, as you know, and most prominently, most importantly, reaffirmed in Planned Parenthood versus Casey in 1992. That almost seems like an appeal to law, kind of. I mean, just because that it's been reaffirmed reaffirmed many times for the past 45 years doesn't necessarily mean that it's right or moral. And as you well recall, Senator, when that case came up, the Supreme Court didn't just reaffirm it in passing. The court specifically went through all the factors of stare decisis in considering whether to overrule it. And the joint opinion of Justice Kennedy, Justice O'Connor, and Justice Souter at great length went through those factors. That was the question presented in the case. Stare decisis is a Latin term meaning to stand by that which is decided. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would just be repeating myself, but essentially it sounds like another appeal to law fallacy. Anyway, Feinstein told Kavanaugh she's been told before that a nominee will follow precedent, but once confirmed, they don't. I truly believe that women should be able to control their reproductive systems, with obviously some concern for a viable fetus, she told Kavanaugh. Okay, I mean, what do you mean by viable fetus? Are you going to tell me like of one that they can like survive outside the womb? I mean, that doesn't seem like a good metric to me personally. On whether to rule on how a human has its own individual right to life, like just because it's like on a natural life support system, that being all the stuff inside the woman's womb that keeps it alive. Said fetus. Anyway, and as far as their should be able to control their reproductive systems, yeah, I would agree with that, just as long as it doesn't affect second party. But after 8 weeks, you have brainwaves detected, so human individual. I mean, I don't know. How much have you heard me speak on abortion, and how much do you agree with whatever I say on the issue, JJ?
I guess I could say I agree with you a little bit, but to be honest, I just say I think a man should have the right to speak, to try to, get the woman to agree with him. But if he can't, well, it's up to the woman. That's what I have to say.
Right.
So saying that a guy has no right to speak on this, that's complete bullshit.
Right. And I will say personally that actually no. Not this is not me speaking in position, but I will just say right now that the purpose of these streams right here, these Strikeforce news streams, is not necessarily to debate a topic. So that's not what I intend to do at all with you. Just give our 2 cents on the article itself and move on. Excuse me. And I understand your point of view on that, Senator. And I understand how passionate and how deeply people feel about this issue, Kavanaugh replied. I understand the importance of the issue. I understand the importance that people attach to the Roe v. Wade decision, to the Planned Parenthood versus Casey decision. I don't live in a bubble. I understand. I live in the real world. I understand the importance of the issue, Kavanaugh said. Feinstein tried again, asking Kavanaugh, have your views about whether Roe is settled precedent changed since you were in the Bush White House? I will tell you what my view right now is, which is it's an important precedent of the Supreme Court that's been reaffirmed many times, Kavanaugh said. In other words, I want us to move on. So sounds like he's saying an indirect no. And this is a issue that I have with politicians in general, is that they don't necessarily give the most straightest of answers. But you can kind of translate what their words might mean, whether it means an actual yes or no. But anyway, but at the same time, people who are being affirmed for like a judge position, they have to be kind of careful. They have to be careful with their answers so as to not outright espouse an ideological position, and instead espouse a position that is strictly upholding of the law and reading the law as written. He repeated that Planned Parenthood v. Casey reaffirmed Roe and did so by considering the stare decisis factors. So Casey now becomes a precedent on precedent, Kavanaugh said. It's not as if it's just a run-of-the-mill case that was decided and has never been reconsidered, but Casey specifically reconsidered it, applied the stare decisis factors, and decided to reaffirm it. That makes Casey a precedent on precedent. End of article. And so far, it's seeming like Brett Kavanaugh is for leaving Roe v. Wade alone, but that does not speak as to what his actual personal beliefs on abortion are, so that's yet to be decided. For all we know, he could be like a Austin Peterson type character.
And I just found something amazing on Facebook.
Oh, really?
It's not anything. It's not anything like politics related, but something amazing in general.
Ah, I see. Oh.
It's a double stuffed Oreo waffle cone from Sonic.
That sounds like diabetes in a nutshell.
Hey! I already have diabetes, so I can't make it any worse. Saying the same guy that had cake and ice cream earlier.
Wait a minute, cake and ice cream? No, it was just ice cream during that one live stream. It wasn't cake. There was no cake involved. The cake is a lie.
Oh, good lord, that meme.
Okay. So, important precedent of the Supreme Court. Anyway, so this is the article that we're picking up from. Kavanaugh says Kennedy, who declared abortion and same-sex marriage constitutional rights, is hero. So if he considers Justice Kennedy to be a hero based off of Kennedy's own abortion beliefs, well, then that would mean that he is leaning pretty pro-choice, even on a personal moral level and not just a legal level. But anyway, Judge Brett Kavanaugh, whom President Donald Trump has nominated to the Supreme Court, said in his opening statement at his Senate Judiciary Committee confirmation hearing on Tuesday that Justice Anthony Kennedy is a mentor, a friend, and a hero. Kavanaugh has been nominated to fill the vacancy created by Kennedy's retirement from the court. In 1993, 1 year after Kennedy co-authored the court's opinion in Planned Parenthood v. Casey, which upheld Roe v. Wade's declaration that abortion is a constitutionally protected right. I disagree with that, but anyway, Kavanaugh clerked for Kennedy on the court. In 2015, Kennedy wrote the court's opinion in Obergefell v. Hodges, declaring same-sex marriage a constitutional right. In a legal position, I disagree with that. But on a principle position, I believe that same-sex marriage is not necessarily a constitutional right, but is a natural right.
A moral right.
Yeah, a moral right. Natural and moral right. But I'm not so convinced that it's a constitutional right necessarily. I mean, I don't think the 14th Amendment mentions sexuality, that the government shall not discriminate based on sexuality. It says race and religion, but oh man, I'm just scrolling down and I'm noticing of how damn long this is. Damn. I probably won't put you through all of it, JJ. So
Whatever you want to do, I'm up for it.
some 30 years ago, Judge Anthony Kennedy sat in this seat, Kavanaugh told the Judiciary Committee on Tuesday. He became one of the most consequential justices, if I can speak, in American history, Kavanaugh said. I served as his law clerk in 1993. To me, Justice Kennedy is a mentor, a friend, and a hero. As a member of the court, he was a model of civility and collegiality. He fiercely defended the independence of the judiciary, said Kavanaugh. And he was a champion of liberty. If you had to sum up Justice Kennedy's entire career in one word, liberty. Justice Kennedy established a legacy of liberty for ourselves and our posterity. Yeah, from what I generally hear about Anthony Kennedy was that he was more of a libertarian nominee, that he was a more libertarian judge on the Supreme Court. And so this, if he was really a libertarian judge, then it would only really make sense that he would rule for abortion rights and for gay marriage rights. I do not hear much about his gun rights position, but I'm pretty sure that he upheld the Second Amendment and turned down any overly restricting gun laws as well that came across the Supreme Court, at least.
Gun laws are retarded.
Gun laws are retarded. Would that include criminal background checks?
Well, that doesn't count because it's not technically a gun law. It's more so safety measure.
Yeah, I guess that's a point that can be made.
I'm talking about, like, you know what I'm talking about, like gun restrictions and all that kind of stuff.
Banning guns?
Yeah, restrictions, bannings, yeah.
Okay, but all the processes for getting a gun, that's a bit of a different story for you, though.
Yes, very.
All right. That makes sense. I mean, a person could literally take that quote from you out of context and say, oh my gosh, JJ is an anarchist on guns.
Oh yeah. If they think that, then they're retarded, to be honest.
Anyway, here's the full text of Judge Kavanaugh's opening statement to the committee. I probably will not read all this, but we'll see how much we can get read before I get bored. Senate Judiciary Chairman Chuck Grassley, Judge Kavanaugh, do you swear that the testimony that you are about to give before this committee will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God. And Kavanaugh says, I do. Grassley, thank you. Proceed with your statement or anything else that you want to tell the committee right now. Kavanaugh says, thank you, Mr. Chairman, Senator Feinstein, members of the committee. I thank Secretary Rice, Senator Portman, and Lisa Blatt for their generous introductions. They are patriots who represent the best of America.
You okay?
He puts Senator Feinstein under that statement. They're patriots who represent the best of America.
Oh wow! And are they talking about Kavanaugh? And they said Feinstein.
No. Yeah, Kavanaugh is the one who said that. Senator Feinstein is one of the people who is a patriot and represents the best of America.
Oh.
I know that. Okay, I'm not gonna hold this against Kavanaugh, to be quite honest with you, because I know that it is a judge's job to be impartial towards members of the government. They aren't supposed to have opinions about that. Who's Peter Ginsburg? As Ginsburg had actually once criticized Trump. I recall a quote floating around on the internet from her on that. But anyway, I know that he isn't supposed to be impartial, so I don't judge him on that. But still, Senator Feinstein does not represent the best of America.
No, she's either average at best or below average.
Oh, no. She's definitely below average because...
That's why I said average at best.
Right. One of the mainstays of her entire career actually was gun legislation. And the thing is, the majority of people here in the States, well, I will not say the majority own guns, but a lot of them do own guns, and the majority of people believe in gun rights to some extent or another.
Yeah, and those gun grabbers are usually anorexic little pussies.
Feinstein.
You're fucking a white male guy.
Hey, joke's on you. I do own a gun, bitch.
Imagine if he actually did support guns.
Wait a minute, Feinstein?
No, I'm talking about you're fucking a white male guy.
Oh, you're talking about AIDS Skrillex. Okay. I thought you were calling me a white guy. I see.
No, that I specifically said you're fucking a white male guy.
Okay.
I never knew his real name, so.
Nobody knows his real name, but people just refer to him as AIDS Skrillex because he looks like the
Skrillex on AIDS.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're fucking a white male.
No, but you are.
I know I am, and you're a freaking mutt, is what you
No,
are.
I'm talking about the guy. I'm talking about AIDS Skrillex actually fucking a white guy.
He's a gay white male.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Anyway, I'm humbled by their confidence. I'm proud to call each of them a friend. Sorry, I cannot hold a straight face when he goes.
Damn it, Kavanaugh, you fucking troll.
I cannot help but chuckle when he refers all these complimentary things to Feinstein. Sorry, but I just can't.
It is funny.
Over the past 8 weeks, I've witnessed firsthand the Senate's deep appreciation for the vital role of the American judiciary. I have met with 65 senators, including almost every member of this committee. Those meetings are sometimes referred to as courtesy calls, but that term understates how substantive and personal our discussions have been. I have greatly enjoyed all 65 meetings. In listening to all of you, I have learned more about our country and the people you represent. Every senator is devoted to public service and the public good. Sorry, I was choking on that bit of bullshit. And I thank all the senators for their time and their thoughts. I thank President Trump for the honor of this nomination. And Trump says, "You're welcome, Brett. You should all nominate Brett. He's a great guy. Believe me, I know."
Oh, that you surprisingly did such an amazing impression of Donald J. Trump.
Yeah. They're not bringing their best. They're bringing rapists, they're murderers, and some of them, I assume, are good people. Anyway, moving on. As a judge and as a citizen, I was deeply impressed by the president's careful attention to the nomination process and by his thorough consideration of potential nominees. I'm also, so far when it comes to nominees, I'm not so far disappointed with either Gorsuch or Kavanaugh. I mean, his pro-choice stances is a little bit disappointing, but I would not say that he's an overall disappointment. I mean, I did like a full episode. I'll have to re-listen to my own episode that was reviewing all of his positions on guns and Obamacare and immigration and so forth. And I would suggest that you listen to that, except you're not that much into re-listening to streams, are you?
Not really, unless they're really funny or very entertaining.
Oh, so you'd be re-listening to the Dark Cancer over and over again, huh?
I do it because I'm usually commenting some weird or inappropriate shit.
I actually, under some of the Dark Cancers, have some a few comments of where I'm highlighting some, where I'm time stamping some highlights of the streams. At least some personal highlights, anyways. If you want to add in your own highlights, go ahead and put them down in the comments as well.
Yeah, okay.
But anyway, I'm also very grateful for his courtesy at the White House on the night of the announcement. The president and Mrs. Trump were very gracious to my daughters, my wife, and my parents. My family always cherished that night, or as my daughter Lisa calls it, her debut on national television. Oh, don't let her get too big of a head. For all you know, she might become the next Miley Cyrus before you know it.
Or Kylie Jenner.
Kylie Jenner, I do not hear so much about Kylie Jenner and how trashy she is, but Miley Cyrus, I do know.
She can be pretty. Kylie Jenner can be kind of trashy.
Well, I'm sure all Hollywood stars can be trashy to one extent or another, but they rarely get as bad as someone like Miley Cyrus, who, like, you know, was nude on and has so much personal drama, and you know. Anyway,
yeah, and the whole Democrat
headlines.
And over her crying over Trump becoming president. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Keep your sanity together, please. I mean, did Kylie Jenner at least do that? Did she ever cry?
I don't think so. I actually don't think so.
I mean, particularly in her maturity. Like, it's one thing if, like, a kid living in their own echo chamber is crying over the win of a presidential candidate, but it's an entirely different thing if you're, like, a mature adult crying over this shit. I mean,
yeah, very true.
Especially one who might be fairly, I don't know. Anyway.
Unstable.
As a nominee to the Supreme Court, I understand the responsibility I bear. Some 30 years ago, Judge Anthony Kennedy sat in this seat. He became one of the most consequential justices in American history. I served as his law clerk in 1993. To me, Justice Kennedy is a mentor, a friend, and a hero. As a member of the court, he was a model of civility and collegiality. He fiercely defended the independence of the judiciary, and he was a champion of liberty. If you had to sum up Justice Kennedy's entire career in one word, liberty. Justice Kennedy established a legacy of liberty for ourselves and our posterity. I'm here today with another of my judicial heroes, my mom. 50 years ago this week in September 1968, in September of 1968, my mom was 26 and I was 3. At that time, my mom started as a public school teacher at McKinley Tech High School here in Washington, D.C. 1968 was a difficult time for race relations in our city and our country. McKinley Tech had an almost entirely African-American student body. It was east of the park. I vividly remember days as a young boy sitting in the back of my mom's classroom as she taught American history to a class of African-American teenagers. So I don't see anything outright being said, but I guess that, I don't know. I mean, I kind of hope that he expounds on this on his opening statement here, but so far I'm getting the implication that maybe he was like one of the more tolerant people for especially those days standards to colored people, you know, or people of color to be PC. Her students were born before Brown versus Board of Education or Bowling versus Sharp. By her example, my mom taught me the importance of equality for all Americans, equal rights, equal dignity, and equal justice under law. So, okay, there's a statement that I was going for, or looking for anyways. My mom was a trailblazer. When I was 10, she went to law school at American University and became a prosecutor. I am an only child, and my introduction to law came... Oh, wow, only child. I honestly pity only children because I could only imagine myself being pretty freaking lonely if I was an only child.
I kind of was but I lived with my sisters for 5 to 7 years, so.
Okay. I was an only child for only about 2.5 years, and then my eldest sister was born. I am an only child, and my introduction to law came at our... And then it just kept on growing and growing from there, by the way. I'm an only child, and my introduction to law came at our dinner table when she practiced her closing arguments on my dad and me. Her trademark line was, use your common sense. What rings true? What rings false? One of the few women prosecutors at the time, she overcame barriers and was later appointed by Democratic governors to serve as a Maryland state trial judge. Our federal and state trial judges serve on the front lines of American justice. Okay, so she wasn't like one of those Jim Crow type of Democrats, so that's good to know. Oh, wait, no. This doesn't say that she was actually a Democrat, but she was appointed by a Democratic governor. So never mind. I retract that statement immediately. My mom taught me that judges don't deal in abstract principles. Yes, as you are trying to espouse by saying complimentary things about Feinstein. about a witch like Feinstein. Anyway, my mom taught me that judges don't deal in abstract principles. They decide for real cases, for real people in the real world. And she taught me that good judges must always stand in the shoes of others. The chairman referred to me today as Judge Kavanaugh, but to me, that title will always belong to my mom. Wow. Okay. I'm glad that you look at your mom so highly. I mean, yeah.
I mean, that's what
I mean,
sons and daughters should do.
Right. I mean, not to imply that I don't look at my mom highly, but I'm not going to get in. No. I do look at my mom highly. I'm just going to. I didn't want to.
You were going to go on a tangent, but then you thought, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I did not want to. Plus, I did not want to leave anything open-ended. So I just want to. And I also just want to leave it at that so that people don't get to thinking. But I look at my mom pretty highly as well. For 12 years, I've been a judge on the U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit. I've written more than 300 opinions and held more than 2,000 cases. I have given it my all in every case. I am proud of that body of work, and I stand behind it. I tell people, don't read about my judicial opinions. Don't read about my judicial opinions. Read the opinions. In other words, read the opinions themselves. Do not read other people's opinions about your opinions. I have served with 17 other judges, each of them a colleague and a friend, on a court now led by our superb Chief Judge Merrick Garland. My judicial philosophy is straightforward. A judge must be independent and must interpret the law, not make the law. Amen, brother. A judge must interpret statutes as written. Hear, hear. A judge must interpret the Constitution as written. Hear, hear.
Damn straight.
Informed by history and tradition and precedent. Hurrah. In deciding cases, a judge must always keep in mind what Alexander Hamilton said in Federalist 83. The rules of legal interpretation are rules of common sense. A good judge must be an umpire. Umpire as in, the baseball team member, well, not team member, but you know what I mean.
The baseball, what's it called? Fuck.
Kind of like a referee?
Yeah, pretty much a baseball referee.
Right. A good judge must be an umpire, a neutral and impartial arbiter who favors no litigant or policy. As Justice Kennedy explained in Texas versus Johnson, one of the greatest opinions, judges do not make decisions to reach a preferred result. Judges make decisions because the law and the Constitution, as we see them, compel the result. Oh, sorry about that yawn right there. I actually had quite a tiresome day at work. I'm probably going to just take it easy right after I'm done with this episode of Strike Force.
Okay.
Over the past 12 years, even though I'll probably be stressed out, or because even though Jocelyn will probably be stressing me out over Twitter, he's picking fights.
Shocker.
Anyway. Except this one is unique because he actually dragged me into one. Normally it's just him picking fights with the rest of the people, but no, this time he actually tagged me because I did an edited down re-upload. Did you see my one recent video called Mjolnir Man Destroys an Incel?
Yeah, I saw that. That was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, he's bitching about how I uploaded my own edited down version of that, and he's grasping at straws to try and prove that there is copyright infringement in this and that he can flag it.
Yeah, you can't really do that once you take down your video. He actually took down that stream, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
actually,
he did.
He deleted it or he unlisted it?
He either deleted it or unlisted it. I can't remember, but I just know it's gone.
I think he might have unlisted it. I mean, S-Man has a link to the original stream. And last I checked, when I clicked on that link he had in the description, it worked and led me to Jocelyn's original stream. But anyway, over the past 12 years, I have ruled sometimes for the prosecution and sometimes for criminal defendants, sometimes for workers and sometimes for businesses, sometimes for environmentalists and sometimes for coal miners. In each case, I have followed the law. I do not decide cases based on personal or policy preferences. I am not a pro-plaintiff or pro-defendant judge. I am not a pro-prosecution or pro-defense judge. I am a pro-law judge. As Justice Kennedy showed us, a judge must be independent, not swayed by public pressure. Our independent judiciary is a crown jewel of our constitutional republic. In our independent judiciary, the Supreme Court is the last line of defense for the separation of powers and for the rights and liberties guaranteed by the Constitution. Although I would kind of say that the Supreme Court sometimes rules incorrectly. I mean, for example, there was one rule, I can't remember exactly what it was called, but this is one that practically everybody can almost objectively disagree on. I mean, especially self-proclaimed liberal progressives. They disagree with the one ruling that says basically that money is speech. Yeah, and Ben Shapiro once espoused that same logic, saying that money is speech, and I disagree with him, and I disagree with the Supreme Court ruling as well.
I agree with that 100% as well.
That, I mean, Roe v. Wade is more of a subjective and personal piece of evidence as to how the Supreme Court can rule incorrectly, but the whole money is speech ruling, if I'm remembering correctly, I mean, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, and if I'm flat on my face, I will eat crow if I have to, but
Jim Crow.
Yeah. No cannibalism here, people. No. And I wasn't just referring to gay cannibalism. I'm talking about both types of. But anyway, but yeah, that serves as almost an objective piece of evidence as to how the Supreme Court can rule incorrectly. Money is speech is some kind of fancy mental gymnastics, I say. The Supreme Court is the last line of defense. Okay, I already read that paragraph through. The Supreme Court must never be viewed as a partisan institute. The justices on the Supreme Court do not sit on opposite sides of an aisle. They do not caucus in separate rooms. If confirmed to the Supreme Court, I would be part of a team of 9 committed to deciding cases according to the Constitution and laws of the United States. I would always strive to be a team player on the team of 9. Throughout my life, I've tried to serve the common good in keeping with my Jesuit high school's motto, men for others. Jesuit, I think, is like a denomination of Christianity. I cannot remember exactly, but I think that's what it is anyway. My Jesuit high school's motto, men for others. I've spent my career in public service. I've tutored at Washington Jesuit Academy, a rigorous tuition-free school for boys from low-income families. At Catholic Charities at 10th and G, I served meals to the homeless with my friend Father John Ensler. I think the guy is Catholic, or maybe he's just referring to him as Father, and the guy John Ensler is Catholic. He's just doing that out of respect or something. I don't know. In those works, I keep in mind the message of Matthew 25 and try to serve the least fortunate among us. I mean, I personally, when it comes to referring to Catholic priests, I would just refer them as Reverend and not Father. Or at least I try not to anyways. Yeah. I know I fall short at times, but I always want to do more and do better. For the past 7 years, I've coached my daughter's basketball teams. I love coaching. All the girls I've coached are awesome. And special congratulations to the girls on this year's 6th grade CYO championship team. Anna, Quinn, Kelsey, Shawnee, Chloe, or Chloe, however you pronounce that. Alex, Ava, Sophia, and Margaret. I love helping the girls grow into confident players. I know that confidence on the basketball court translates into confidence in other aspects of life. Title IX helped make girls and women's sports equal. And I see that law's legacy every night when I walk into my house, as my daughters are getting back from lacrosse or basketball or hockey practice. I know from my own life that those who teach and coach America's youth are among the most influential people in our country. Okay, so he seems to be espousing some kind of feminism, like first or second wave feminism, not third wave feminism necessarily.
So the good kind.
Yes, exactly. But people will probably just overlook that and say, but he was appointed by a misogynist, so therefore he must be a misogynist as well.
Exactly.
But if Brett Kavanaugh did not have the touch, I'm speaking figuratively here, by the way, if he did not have the touch of Donald Trump on him, then he probably would be looked at as somewhat of a feminist. But anyway, with a kind word here and a hint of encouragement there, a word of discipline delivered in a spirit of love, teachers and coaches change lives. I thank all of my teachers and coaches who've gotten me to this point, and I thank all the teachers and coaches throughout America. As a judge, I've sought to train the next generation of lawyers and leaders. For 12 years, I've taught constitutional law to hundreds of students, primarily at Harvard Law School. I teach that Constitution separation of powers protects individual liberty. I'm grateful to all my students. I have learned so much from them, and I'm especially grateful to the dean who first hired me. Now, Justice Alina Kagan, one of the best parts of my job as a judge is each year hiring 4 recent law school graduates to serve as my law clerks for the year. I hire the best. My law clerks come from diverse backgrounds and points of view. Honestly, I'm finding his opening statement here to be interesting enough to go ahead and to just finish it all. I mean, I do not know what hooked me onto this, but I just find it interesting enough to finish.
Yeah.
I mean, especially since I can like verbally espouse my opinions on what I'm reading, particularly with a friend. JJ?
Yeah.
A majority of my 48 law clerks have been women. More than a quarter of my law clerks have been minorities. Got to get that diversity in, right? No, just joking.
Long live the diversity.
And I've had far more African-American law clerks than the percentage of African-American students in U.S. law schools. I'm proud of all my law clerks. I'm grateful for my friends. This past May, I delivered the commencement address at Catholic University Law School. Okay, so his law clerks is like more diverse than Paul Ryan's secretaries that he had. I mean, do you remember that at all, JJ? I mean, there was like a big hoopla about how there wasn't enough colored people amongst all the different secretaries that he had.
I think I heard a little bit about it, but I didn't really know.
Yeah, I mean, if a person was to look close enough, I think a person can spot out either 1 or 2 Asians in there. But anyway, that's not the point. Like, he took a picture as, I guess, a reunion with himself and all of his past and current secretaries, and he posted it on Twitter or some social media platform, and people were just bitching about how there wasn't enough color in that group. And I was like, oh my gosh, non-issue. Holy crap.
Yeah, forced diversity is retarded.
Actually, Roaming Millennial did a video about that. That's how I mainly heard about it. She said that even she herself was a secretary of Paul Ryan, I think is what she said in that video.
What?
Roaming Millennial was a secretary of Paul Ryan.
Wow.
Yeah, the more you know.
Yeah, I'm really surprised by that, actually.
Yep. All right. But yeah, I mean, it only makes sense that coincidentally, the majority of his secretaries might end up as white people, because it's kind of hard for a conservative Republican to find minority people that are like engaged in politics and also agree with your own positions. Just saying. I mean, except for maybe amongst Indian and Asian groups, but anyway, you get my drift, don't you, JJ?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not me being racist, but it's just general trends that we can like obviously observe across America, is that the majority of Hispanics and Black people are, in fact, liberal Democrats.
Yep.
Anyway, I gave the graduates this advice. Cherish your friends. Look out for your friends. Lift up your friends. Love your friends. Over the last 8 weeks, although just side comment, he managed to find those types of people, though. friends. Over the last 8 weeks, I've been strengthened by the love of my friends, and I thank all my friends. I'm grateful to have my family behind me. My mom rightly gets a lot of attention, but a few words about my dad. He has an unparalleled work ethic and the gift for making friends with people, regardless of who they are or where they come from. My dad and I are both passionate sports fans. Okay, you do you, but I'm not much of a sport fan. I mean, you're largely into sports, though, JJ. So,
Football specifically.
Yeah, so you can sympathize with this more. Anyway, when I was 7, he took me to the 1972 NFC Championship game at RFK Stadium, just 2 miles from here. Upper deck, section of 503, row 3, seats 8 and 9.
Hold on, let me see what they're talking about. The RFK Stadium?
I think Robert F. Kennedy is what they're referring to. John's brother.
Oh, it's Washington. It's the Washington Redskins, I believe.
You're self-hating racist for saying that name.
It would be funny if people weren't actually saying that.
Yeah. But anyway, I actually remember around the whole controversy about that there was actually pictures taken of Native Americans who were fans of the Washington Redskins and wearing their articles of clothing. So eat that, liberals. I mean,
I was also a part of that too when I hated when I believed that the name should be changed because I was a liberal back then.
Oh, I see.
I hate myself for that. So.
You also mentioned one time that you were once a supporter of Hillary Clinton for like a short amount of time.
Yeah, like maybe 2-3 months.
Oh, I got you. But yeah, I mean, it seems that true blue red people, what they care about more is the issues themselves rather than the language being espoused, like the slur redskin, you know?
I'm pretty sure they worry more about how much money they're getting from the, what's it called, from their casinos than the name.
And you're playing off of the stereotypes. Yeah, and having those whiskey drinking contests.
I mean, it's kind of true. Us Native Americans do like our whiskey.
Right. When I was 17, we sat in the same seats for the 1982 NFC Championship game. In 1995, when I was 30, we were at Camden Yards together when Cal Ripken played his 2,131st consecutive game and broke Lou Gehrig's seemingly unbreakable record, and so many other games with my dad. A lifetime of friendship forged in stadium seats over hot dogs and beer. Wait,
Damn straight.
Whoa, you were drinking beer that young? Really?
Wait, how old was he?
When I was 17, or yeah. Okay, let me reread that. When I was 17, we sat in the same seats for the 1982 NFC Championship game. In 1995, when I was 30. Duh, my bad.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure the drinking age was still 21 at the time.
Damn, I feel like an idiot.
It's all right. We all have our own flubs.
Fucking dyslexic. My daughters, Margaret and Lisa, will be in and out of this hearing room over the next few days. They are strong girls, dedicated students, outstanding athletes. In the time since you last saw them at the White House ceremony on July 9th, I'm pleased to report that Margaret's gotten her braces off and has turned 13. Well, congratulations, Margaret. Margaret is the sweetest girl you'll ever know. As for Lisa, I tell her every night that no one gives a better hug than Lisa Kavanaugh. I guess Lisa is the younger of the two, or maybe he did mention the ages of the two earlier, but I wasn't paying attention to that. But anyway,
yeah.
Finally, I thank my wife, Ashley. She's a strong West Texan, a graduate of Abilene Cooper Public High School and the University of Texas at Austin. She's now the popular town manager of our local community. This has not exactly been the summer she had planned for the family, but I'm grateful for her love and inspiration. Ashley is a kind soul. She always sees the goodness in others. She's made me a better person and a better judge. I thank God every day for my family. Mr. Chairman, Senator...
Here comes the liberals getting mad at him for being a Christian.
Oh. Right. Well, the more moderate ones probably won't care that much, but... I know that Bernie Sanders once did a litmus test on some. I can't remember what the name of the guy was, but there was some staff member of Trump's that was given a litmus test by Bernie Sanders at one point, where Bernie was asking, "Do you believe that Jews like me and other non-Christians are gonna go to hell and burn for eternity?" And yeah. I mean, why is this a qualifier for a guy's position? I think it was like an economic position too that the staff member was being heard out
with
for.
anything.
Yeah, what does religion have to do anything with economics? Barely anything, if at all. Trainer McCurry says, "Hey all, hello Trainer."
Yeah, hello.
Mr. Chairman, Senator Feinstein, members of the committee, I look forward to the rest of the hearing and to answering your questions. I am an optimist. I live on the sunrise side of the mountain, not the sunset side of the mountain. I see the day that is coming, not the day that is gone. I am optimistic about the future of America. I am optimistic about the future of our independent judiciary. I revere the Constitution. If confirmed to the I revere the Constitution. If confirmed to the Supreme Court, I will keep an open mind in every case. I will do equal right to the poor and to the rich. I will always strive to preserve the Constitution of the United States and the American rule of law. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Grassley says, "Thank you, Judge Kavanaugh." End of article. I don't know why Grassley is calling him Judge Kavanaugh yet. I mean, he's not. Well, okay, never mind. That's a dumb statement right there, because he technically is a judge. He's just not a SCOTUS judge. He's like a court of appeals, a circuit court of appeals judge. That's what he is. But anyway, he's a circuit judge, which is like a minor judge compared to the Supreme Court. Okay, so pro-abort Obama backer introduces Kavanaugh. He's best choice liberals could reasonably hope for. Okay. Pro-abort. I gotta say, CNS News, like, are you calling this person pro-abort? In other words, they're pro-choice? Or are you saying they're pro-abort as in they're one of those shout your abortion types of liberals? Because if that's the case, well, then you'd be accurate. But if she isn't all giddy about abortion, then I think pro-abort would be a little bit of a, I mean, I get the sympathy, CNS News, but I still think that is a little bit of a incorrect labeling of the person if they aren't giddy about abortion, you know?
Yeah. You could have just said pro-choice.
Right. Pro-abort Obama backer introduces Kavanaugh. He's best choice liberals could reasonably hope for. And the reason why I wanted to read this, to use it as like a little bit of weight when it comes to liberals or just leftists in general, well, center and moderate leftists here in America, at least, not being so harsh on Kavanaugh. That's what I always wanted to read this for. Well, Lisa Blatt, a pro-abortion attorney who backed Barack Obama and then Hillary Clinton for president, and who says she wished Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg had all 9 votes on the Supreme Court, introduced Judge Brett Kavanaugh to the Judiciary Committee yesterday, saying Kavanaugh was the best Supreme Court nominee liberals could reasonably hope for in these circumstances. All right. I am also a liberal Democrat and an unapologetic defender of a woman's right to choose. Sorry. Blatt told the committee in her introduction of Judge Kavanaugh. Okay, I will say, okay, this is going to be a little bit of a discussion, but I will say that the thing that I have with the term pro-choice, quote unquote, is you could be like pro-choice in abortion, but if you say that you're pro-choice, does that also mean that you're pro-choice when it comes to a person running their own business, when it comes to owning guns and whatnot? I mean, I won't say that it's a huge contradiction, because when you say that yourself are pro-choice, I mean, I can get what you mean. You meaning you're pro-choice on abortion, but when a person scratches their head and goes asking to themselves, this person says they're pro-choice. Are they pro-choice on economics and gun rights? And then they hear the person is not pro-choice on those issues, and they're all like, "Oh no, you're not pro-choice," you know, one of those backwater Republicans from Mississippi.
They're not a true pro-choicer. They're just a pro-choicer on Abortion.
Exactly. I mean, I think libertarians have more of a right, a lot more of a right to be calling themselves pro-choicer because they are pro-choice on abortion, plus they're pro-choice on economics and guns. But
like us.
A
Well, like me.
a leftist liberal on abortion, not so much. I mean, I'll just give you the benefit of the doubt and let you keep your label of pro-choice just so that we can avoid a semantics debate altogether, but still. Anyway,
I'm not going to call him a true pro-choicer.
Little Brotsworst in the chat says, what are your thoughts on American Josh and his nice ass? Oh! American Josh, he should, for his own good. I mean, this is not being afraid of his political opinions and not wishing political censorship on him. Ultimately, it is his choice, but I think for his own sake, because of how he constantly makes himself look like a fool and get verbally ass raped by everybody, that he needs to get off the internet before he drives his own sanity to the point that he does something real bad to himself.
Yeah, but I will say, well, if somebody were to, like, hit him in the nuts, that would be fucking hilarious.
As far as nice ass, anything but, dude.
Yeah, the nice, disgusting, downright awful ass. Yes.
And also, I'm into black female butts, and he's got none of that. So anyway,
he's not. Well, apparently, yeah, you could say he is because he does say, "I came from black people."
What the fuck? Is the guy trying to proclaim blackface or something? I don't know.
Oh no, he's a white supremacist.
Anyway, Lil Bronsworth says, I think that too. Okay, cool. I mean, honestly, I was I was almost wondering if Lil Bronsworth was one of the people coming to Josso's defense. I saw the little thing that I had with him over Twitter and was coming to his defense or something, but now I know for certain. I mean, I did not want to outwardly make any assumptions, but now he's proven me wrong, and I am heartwarmed by that. So, yeah.
I'm pretty sure he was just trolling us.
Thank you, Lil Bronsworth, for your 2 cents. And anyway, let's move on. So, my hero is Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, for whom I had the great fortune of serving as a law clerk. She said, I proudly voted for Hillary Clinton.
Wow.
I voted for President Obama twice. Not so much of an because in my personal opinion,
though.
Yeah, I would say so. But I can at least understand a support ship for Obama over Clinton, because Obama, he at least has some principles more so than Hillary Clinton does.
But he was still a shitty ass president, though.
Oh yeah. I clearly disagree with those principles. And the same thing that I say with Bernie Sanders and Bernie Sanders supporters. I can understand your support for Bernie Sanders because at least he stood by some principles that, despite how much I disagree with them, still, point still stands. But a support for Hillary Clinton, like, why? I mean, unless you're like a one-issue voter, like when it comes to abortion or gun rights, or you're just
there'll be another secular hawk.
Yeah, or you're like an interventionist extremist like he is. Then I guess I can understand it, but
don't like it.
Yeah, I don't know. I cannot have as much respect to people who are like one-issue voters. I mean, just saying. I mean, I might end up having some one-issue voter family members or friends within my circles. I mean, this is no offense to them, but I just don't get it. Anyway.
Yeah.
I voted for President Obama twice, and with my apologies, Mr. Chairman, for this one, I wish Senator Feinstein were chairing this committee. Is it because my vagina and women? No, I'm kidding.
My pussy, no.
Shit. The way you said that, you're like, my pussy.
My pussy.
You almost said that in like a dirty old Southern guy's accent.
Hey, I am from the South. I'm just not old.
I wonder what you would look like in cowboy boots, spurs, and a Stetson.
I think I'd look pretty good, actually.
Oh, you really think so? Okay. I wonder what you would look like with a ponytail too. You know, to represent your own people's cultures. You fucking know, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I'm not a faggot cowboy.
No. I was about to say you fucking red skin.
I know what you meant. I'm just saying, guys that wear ponytails. I'm sorry, I don't care if you're Native American or not. That looks pretty gay.
I don't know. I don't quite agree with that. I mean, it depends on the type of person that they are. It depends on how it looks on them, I would say. But that's subjective. Anyway. And yet I'm here today to introduce Judge Kavanaugh and urge the Senate to confirm him as the next associate judge of the Supreme Court, she said. Now, if it were up to me, Justice Ginsburg would have all 9 votes, but that's not our system, and the reality is that the presidency and the Senate are in Republican hands, Blatt said. Judge Kavanaugh is the best choice that liberals could reasonably hope for in these circumstances. Yeah, because at least for you, somebody who is obviously passionate when it comes to the issue of abortion or reproductive rights, as they like to politically correct put it, excuse me.
Long live
like
the pussy.
In political correctness, it does seem reasonable for a person of that caliber to like support him because he's all like, Roe v. Wade is staying. I mean, it doesn't care what my personal beliefs on it. It is staying. That is what his opinion is, basically.
Yeah.
Blatt was one of 3 individuals who introduced Kavanaugh to the committee before he gave his opening statement. The other 2 introducers were Condoleezza Rice and Senator Rob Portman of Republican of Ohio. Wait, Condoleezza Rice is still in politics?
Yeah, I'm still surprised about that, too.
I wonder, is she actually a senator now or what? I don't know. I'll have to look up what position she has. Here's the complete transcript of Blatt's introduction. Senate Judiciary Chairman Chuck Grassley, Miss Lisa Blatt. And Lisa Blatt says, "Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee members. It is a privilege to appear before you today. My name is Lisa Blatt, and I know Judge Kavanaugh in my capacity as an appellate lawyer here in Washington. I've argued 35 cases before the Supreme Court of the United States, more than any other woman in history."
Oh, good Lord. What are you doing?
That's me slow clapping. Like, this is okay, let me just stop it.
I was wondering if you were smacking your head against a wall or just clapping.
There's my sarcastic clap. Now.
Yeah, I know. I sarcastically clap as well.
Anyway, you know what would have made that more classy is if I just immediately turned off the camera and went to the sarcastic clap instead of doing that through the mic. When you
because at first I thought you were smacking your head against a wall because you thought it was so stupid.
Okay, yeah, I walked up from my desk and I just ran my head into the
Oh my god, I could just imagine you just getting so annoyed that you just run out the window and just smash through it.
And just what would happen, JJ? Dark Conservator would teleport right to the ground. Ain't no broken feet here, bitch. Anyway. I am also a liberal Democrat and an unapologetic excuse me, no, I have to do this in an accent. I am also a liberal Democrat and an unapologetic defender of a woman's right to choose.
Let me guess, you got that from Freedom Tunes, didn't you?
No, not Freedom Tunes, but hey, what was the name of that one girl's name who was all like, "We don't get to choose"?
I don't remember that one.
Unlike what most people think, we don't actually get to choose when we have our menstrual or something like that. I can't remember.
Because the only woman that I remember doing something that's like continues that, not to be racist, but Asian people.
But Asian people what?
It's like, but Asian people, and she just laughs and she has that honk, almost like a goose honk.
What the fuck?
Yeah, just look it up. Not to be racist, but Asian people, AAAHHH.
Okay. Red Feather is in the chat, says, LOL, what did I walk into? Also, hi, all. What's up, Red Feather?
Yeah.
We are talking about the Brett Kavanaugh hearings right now is what we're doing. And right now we are on our last article reading Lisa Blatt's take on Brett Kavanaugh. But yeah, I mean, you don't remember like during the 2016 Women's March when that one girl was all like, we don't get to choose.
I'll just send you the video.
On Discord?
Yeah, I'll be back. Just let me do something first.
All right. JJ is AFK right now, so LOL, I know what you're talking about. That girl is funny, says Red Feather. Yes, unintentionally funny in a cringy sort of way, I say. I mean, unless that pronunciation was intentional for comedic laugh, in that case, congratulations, but still. Anyway, my hero is Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, for whom I had the great fortune of serving as a law clerk. I proudly voted for Hillary Clinton. I voted for President Obama twice. And with my apologies, Mr. Chairman, for this one, I wish Senator Feinstein were chairing this committee. That's me doing a retching impression, by the way. And yet, I am here today to introduce. And by the way, I heard that Feinstein, you lost your nomination for your seat on the Senate. So congratulations. A video called Sarah Sanders' Bad Lip Reading is also hilarious, says Red Feather. Okay. I think I came across that, but I hadn't actually read it though. All
right, I'm back, and I sent you the video.
Oh, I thought you were sending it through your phone or sending it while we were speaking. But anyway,
I had to make sure it was the right video, so I had to watch it. That's why I turned off my mic.
Oh, I gotcha. And yet, I am here today to introduce. So you did hear everything that I said there, more or less.
Practically, yes.
All right. And yet, I am here today to introduce Judge Kavanaugh and urge the Senate to confirm him as the next Associate Justice of the Supreme Court. Yes, or else you will get somebody who is a little bit more pro-life and less pro-choice than Brett Kavanaugh, somebody that is more similar to Neil Gorsuch then. Just warning you, Democrats. Just warning. Anyway. I've received many angry calls from friends and even strangers for supporting Judge Kavanaugh.
What?
Okay, well then tell them people that they're assholes.
End of story.
And you know, I've actually gotten some heat with some personal people in my life for saying that I am not going to be voting for Trump, that I was going to be voting for Evan McMullen.
A lot of people got mad at you for that?
I don't know if mad would be the right word, but they definitely
upset.
I don't know. They were upset. Yeah, I'll just put it at that right now. They were definitely upset that I was not supporting Trump because I literally thought that he was a Clinton plant. I mean,
and he kind of was.
Fast forward 100 days after his inauguration, and that's kind of proven wrong since he nominates, Neil Gorsuch for SCOTUS instead of someone who would be something more similar to that Hillary Clinton would nominate. But yeah, he's not similar enough to Hillary Clinton for me to think that he's a Hillary plant anymore. So when he actually became president, he surprised me. I mean, Ben Shapiro is the same way. He ended up governing a whole lot more conservatively than either me or Ben Shapiro originally thought. But to a certain extent, maybe a little bit too conservatively, like when it comes to weed, for example. Anyway. Weren't like 70 people arrested for their ass hattery at this Kavanaugh hearing, including Linda Sarsour? I don't know. I did not hear about that, Red Feather, honestly.
Yeah, neither did I.
Anyway, I mean, some of the people in my personal life, they ended up like taming down the rhetoric regarding me choosing not to vote for Trump in the general election. When it started looking like that Trump was just flip-flopping and flipping again on his positions, like, you know, in between the election day and inauguration day, it was seeming more and more hopeless, like he was just more and more of a disappointment. And because he ended up being more and more of a disappointment, people were all like, maybe you were right for writing in Evan McMullen. Or no, they at least were all like, I don't blame you for voting for Evan McMullen. So that was heartwarming when I actually heard those words from those said people.
At least they wisened up.
Yeah. Whose names I will not mention. Anyway, did you guys talk about Alex Jones versus Marco Rubio? No, I did not.
We did not talk about Alex Jones. He's a little cum bucket.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a big cum bucket, as I would say.
Actually, I did not. I don't care that much about Alex Jones. This is why I don't really talk about him at all. But one of my subscribers actually requested that I do a video on Alex Jones. But the thing is, I don't take him seriously enough to bother doing.
You really can't.
Yeah, I mean, at least Michael Knowles, who is one of the co-hosts for the Daily Wire, you know, one of those people that are underneath Ben Shapiro, that are along with Andrew Klavan, Matt Walsh. You also have Michael Knowles, who I did a response video on. I took him more seriously, and he did he did a video talking about gay marriage, and I did a response video to him on that. So anyway.
Yeah, to be honest, I think Michael Rowland is more to talk about than Alex Jones.
Wow, that's saying a lot.
Yeah.
Red Feather says, or see Jack Dorsey lying his ass off in his hearing. No, I did not see that one. LOL, he may be, but the confrontation was hilarious to me. Oh, okay. Referring to Alex Jones in that one last chat message, Red Feather is. But I was raised to call it like I see it, and I don't see the choice before you as difficult. By any objective measure, Judge Kavanaugh is clearly qualified to serve on the Supreme Court. After law school, he clerked for Justice Anthony Kennedy, the justice he would succeed. He spent 12 years on the nation's most prestigious Court of Appeals, the United States Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit. His opinions are invariably thoughtful and fair, and many are known as instant classics, not just because they are important, but because they are written so clearly and well. The Supreme Court has adopted the reasoning in his opinions more than a dozen times. Judge Kavanaugh's judicial temperament and integrity are also flawless. He has meticulously prepared, and he treats litigants with respect, asking probing questions of both sides. He approaches judging by determining what the law requires, no matter his personal preference. Okay, so she isn't opening up talking about abortion, but all these other issues like how he handles law and his temperament. So
she's practically just sucking his dick.
I don't know.
Well, whenever she said, well, at the point where he said he's downright perfect or something along those lines.
It says Judge Kavanaugh's judicial temperament and integrity are also flawless. So it's not like she's saying his beliefs themselves, if she even knows about.
Well, yeah, you're right. Never mind.
She's just saying that the way he conducts himself. So anyway.
Yeah, you're right. Never mind.
Judge Kavanaugh has taught at the nation's top law schools, published thoughtful law review articles, and co-authored a leading treatise on judicial precedent. And as just mentioned, the ABA strongly endorsed him because, quote, he meets the very highest standards of integrity, professional competence, and judicial temperament. On a personal level, I just can't say enough nice things about the judge. I first met him almost 10 years ago when he emailed me completely out of the blue to say that he liked an article I had written about arguing before the Supreme Court. Since then, we've become friends, and he has become a mentor to me in my career. So, despite whatever principal disagreements they might be, there might be between Miss Blatt and Kavanaugh. It seems that she at least has respect for him.
So Democrats and Republicans can get along. Who knew?
Red Feather says, oh no, he favors both sides. Someone grab the holy water. Red Feather, she wasn't down-talking the fact that he was favoring both sides. She was praising Kavanaugh for ruling both sides. I mean, just to get the record straight on what I'm reading right here. Okay, continuing on with the article. Judge Kavanaugh has spent countless hours listening to me talk about the challenges I have faced as a working mother in a profession dominated by men.
Kill me.
Again with the feminism, but anyway, he has been a great source of advice on these and many other issues about work-life balance. He understands that life is not always perfect, and he responds to life's challenges with a self-deprecating sense of humor. Or I don't know, maybe Red Feather in the chat is just being sarcastic and saying that other people will react badly to the whole favors both sides line.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, if I misread your chat comment there, Red Feather, well, then that's my bad, but...
Yeah, don't be surprised. Zach does that a lot.
Yeah. What do you expect?
Yeah, he's not good with sarcasm.
Anyway, I know she was. I'm just speaking to most of the Dems' point of view. Okay, yeah, I did misread that chat comment originally, but my second interpretation of it was correct, apparently. If you're not with us 100%, you're against us. Yep, I'm always sarcastic. All right, then. My bad. I can hardly read sarcasm through the chat comments here anyway. Although
I mean, it's kind of hard because it's full of emotionless words.
Right. Although I do know for certain that Colt of Ham was being sarcastic a little bit further up here, where he was all like, "I'll shout out my abortion."
Well, I mean, that's very easy to read considering we know
that
Ham.
He's a dude. He's a dude, and he's always sarcastic. And plus, despite how pro-choice he is, he's not exactly super giddy about abortion. Or at least that's what I last checked his beliefs to be anyways.
Yep.
It's cool. If I put up a joy emoji, I'm joking. All right. My bad. I'll have to remember that rule of thumb with you, Red Feather. And by the way, thank you, Red Feather, for participating in these streams, or at least in the chat a whole lot more nowadays. I'm real grateful for that. And I'll have to keep that rule in mind regarding you putting up the joy emoji if you're going to be participating in the chat in future streams. More generally, Judge Kavanaugh has been remarkably committed to promoting women in the legal profession. More than half of his law clerks have been women, something that is sadly by no means common.
More feminism! Ah!
And almost all of his clerks, women and men, have gone on to clerk at the Supreme Court, including for Justices Kagan and Sotomayor. Well, I mean, it's a non-issue for me, honestly, but it's just, I don't find it to be an issue worth propping up as if it's a, I don't know, it's a make deal. Like it's a making deal. You know of how people say that something, a little facet of a deal will bring it to the breaking point. I do not see of how this makes it like a making point. Anyway, Red Feather says, it's no problem. Sorry I was so late this time, but I didn't have internet because my ISP sucks. That's okay, Red Feather. I mean, for the longest time, my internet has been sucking so much that I would constantly cut out in these streams, but then I went hardline. Now I got a internet jack snaking around the walls here directly to my internet hub. So ever since I've done that, I've had no real problems with the internet cutting out during these streams. So, and now I'm really banging on these streams. Anyway, as his former women law clerks told this committee, the legal provision is, quote, fair and more equal because of Judge Kavanaugh. He's mentored countless other women through the classes he teaches at Yale and Harvard law schools. Obviously, I know that Judge Kavanaugh has a conservative judicial outlook, and if he is confirmed, he will have 1 of 9 votes to definitively decide the meaning of the Constitution, including just how far to read it to protect the reproductive rights of women. But apparently, is abortion is possible. I mean, in all this reading right here, I'm not seeing anything that is saying that he would overturn Roe v. Wade, but maybe there are some other facets of abortion that he would rule in favor of pro-lifers for. But I guess abortion is not really a break deal for her regarding Kavanaugh. At least is what I'm getting from that paragraph. Now, if it were up to me, Justice Ginsburg would have all 9 votes, but that's not our system, and the reality is that the presidency and the Senate are in Republican hands. Judge Kavanaugh is the best choice that liberals could
I think you just reread that.
Right. I mean, they quoted that a little further ways up the article, but anyway. I mean, the thing with CNS News is that they'll have like a brief sum up of the little transcript that they're featuring in one of their articles, where they'll quote in some places some key points of the transcript, but then they won't take that out of the transcript itself as they provide it raw down below. But anyway.
Good God.
Now, if it were up to me, Justice Ginsburg would have all 9 votes, but that's not our system, and the reality is that the presidency and the Senate are in Republican hands. Judge Kavanaugh is the best choice that liberals could reasonably hope for in these circumstances. I am sure that some members of the Senate knew that they would disagree with Justice Ginsburg's legal views when she was a nominee, but Justice Ginsburg was confirmed 96-3. That is a landslide right there. Now that's what you call a landslide. This body has obviously treated some nominees differently since then, to the detriment of our courts. I strongly disagree with the Senate's treatment of Judge Garland. Judge Kavanaugh himself spoke glowingly of Judge Garland during his pending nomination, stating that, quote, Chief Judge Garland is a brilliant tourist. He's thoughtful, he's considerate, he's collegial, he works well with others, he's a good man, great integrity, and he's supremely qualified by the objective characteristics of experience, temperament, writing ability, scholarly ability to the Supreme Court. All of this is equally true of Judge Kavanaugh. I do not think it is fair to hold Judge Kavanaugh responsible for the fact that Judge Garland is not a justice today. Instead, I would urge this committee to treat him as we expect him to treat litigants that appear before him, on his own merits and with an open mind towards someone whose views may differ from our own. Our judicial system is not well served by tit-for-tat politics. At the end of the day, I enthusiastically support Judge Kavanaugh, and I am proud to introduce him because he is unquestionably qualified by his extraordinary intellect, experience, and temperament, and he does easily fit within the mainstream of legal thought. I look forward to the committee over the next few days getting to know the Judge Kavanaugh that I know, and at the end of that process, I hope you will agree that he should be confirmed to succeed his former boss on the Supreme Court. And Grassley closes that with, thank you, Miss Blatt. Anyway.
I just like her last name, Blatt. It just sounds gross as hell. Blech. Blech.
Yeah, it sounds like somebody's coughing up a hairball. Blech.
And it fits her perfectly.
Anyway.
Especially with her feminism.
Okay. Red Feather says in the chat, oh my gosh, they act like it's his first order of business to overturn Roe v. Wade, and he is going to do it single-handedly and without objection. They're such virtue signaling idiots.
Thank you.
I don't know. I don't know if I personally saw that when I was reading that, but I don't know. I guess I
can see where she's coming from, and I kind of have to agree with her.
Okay. So what do you have to say about all this that I have read? I mean, that you have seen me read so far anyways.
I will say I kind of like Kavanaugh, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I do too with what I read in both my one review video of his beliefs and also what I've read here. I mean, it's a little bit disappointing, his stance when it comes to Roe v. Wade, to me personally, but it's, I don't know.
Whoa, what was his stance on Roe v. Wade again?
His overall stance, what I've read here, is that his position is that it's here to stay. That he will not let his own principles get in the way, and that, yeah, he will not bother with trying to overturn it. I mean, is what I'm getting anyways. It's a little bit disappointing in that area because, I don't know. I mean, if I was like a president, I would be trying to appoint judges that would try to overturn Roe v. Wade. That's just me speaking based on my principles, and let the states decide for themselves how they're going to rule on abortion, like whether they want to ban it completely or ban it for the most part, or legalize it for the most part, or legalize it completely to the point of late births, even as fucked
Well,
up.
of course, you'd go with that because, you know, you're pro-life.
Right. All right. So, Red Feather says in the chat, yes, we want people who know how to do their jobs, not just someone who is going to rule according to how they are getting paid. They don't know how any of this works, or rather is supposed to work. Even if he did want to overturn it, it would be virtually impossible for him to do it alone. Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, you would have to have him amongst a coalition of other judges doing this sort of thing, you know?
Yeah, because there would be liberal judges fighting to keep Roe v. Wade, and of course you'd have more conservatives siding with him.
Right. I'm just okay. I'm witnessing the Twitter scuffle that is going on here now.
What's going on? Ow, my hand.
You remember how I mentioned of how you know of how I mentioned that Jocelyn was picking fights with me? Well, that's what I'm witnessing right here.
Oh. What's he saying?
Okay. Here, I guess I'll show you it. And no, I'm not exposing private conversations because, damn it, this is public Twitter right here.
Yep.
At Orion Night Logic, friends with a person named at the Dark Con who stole my content, judges me for using his track and fair use. I can use your beat as long as it's transformative and me rapping over it is. At the Dark Con has been exposed. He stole my video. I have every right to flag it for copyright. Okay, and so this is my what.
If he was making money off of it, yeah.
If I was making money off of it.
Yeah, that I guess you could say that's understandable, but he's not. So
well, okay. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
I never said I liked it. I'm just saying that it's more understandable.
Okay, yeah, I guess it's more understandable. But even then, I don't think that videos should be demonetized, like response videos, for example. I mean, if we were to like follow this logic like line for line, then that would mean that response videos that feature video footage of the original video that they're responding to would not be monetized as well.
Well, I mean, you did add those air horns, so.
Oh right, yeah,
and you didn't have the full stream, so yeah. Even then, it's not even understandable at all.
I had even less than half of what S-Man had re-uploaded on his channel, and plus.
So if you were going to go after Zach, you'd have to go after S-Man and Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but even then, if you did it to Zach, it's stupid. It really is.
Especially for S-Man, since he's the main person who did response videos to Jocelyn. Oh, okay. Red Feather says, I just want to see Planned Parenthood closed down, not abortion made illegal. Well, I can at least agree with that, Red Feather. I mean, if Planned Parenthood at least was to be closed down, then I would be happy enough just by that alone. I mean, forget about Roe v. Wade. LOL, I saw that his vid said you stole his live stream, and S-Man I saw that his videos said you stole his live stream, and S-Man learns about fair use.
What?
Jocelyn is picking fights. Apparently made a video saying how I supposedly stole his video and how
let me look at this. Let me look at the American Fuckboys channel. S-Man learns fair use. A dark con artist has been exposed. He stole my love stream.
Dark con artist. There's another nickname that you can add on my resume. Keep it coming. I love the nicknames. Dark Convict, Dork Con, Dark.
He just wants to start drama with you guys, so he is relevant.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's kind of true. It's kind of true.
Oh yeah, I just saw that comment from Red Feather. Yeah. Anyway, so I said in response to that, saying that I supposedly have been exposed. I actually downloaded it from S-Man Speaks re-upload of a portion of it, and now I guess by that logic, everyone can flag everyone and anyone who made a response video to them and featured footage of the original video they're responding to. Quit being a bitter little nagging bitch.
Yeah.
You didn't. This is literally a fucking re-upload of my...
Are you kidding me? It's only like 10 minutes. It's only like 12 minutes?
He said, you didn't. This is literally a fucking re-upload of my stream cut down.
I mean, first of all, you didn't have air horns. Your stream was like an hour long. So...
I put in my own sound effects, and plus I did the parts where the gangsters were going like, oh,
yeah.
So there was that. I mean, even if I was just to do a cut down version, and I did not add the sound effects and so on and so forth, they would still be under fair use as long as I did not upload the entirety of it and claimed it as my own video.
Yeah, ignore what I said earlier about the Josh thing because I didn't fully understand because I guess I wasn't thinking correctly at that point. Yeah, he has no right to copyright strike you at all.
Red Feather says it's YouTube logic. Yeah, because all these YouTubers, they love starting drama. So Josh needs to learn about fair use, basically. Yes.
Basically.
What about your Kamikaze ripoff album, Jocelyn? Isn't this steaming? Oh, okay. I guess that's what he's trying to say. It's called a parody and wasn't the same as the original.
Fuck. Then what was Zach's then? Oh, right. It was a parody.
Well, it was supposed to be it wasn't necessarily a parody. It was more like a glorification of Mjolnir Man, if anything.
True.
Okay. No, I already read that message from Red Feather. Yes, but dude, you used his cover art and everything, and you need to use instrumentals done by others, not the artists, and credit them. Sounds like a good idea. I'll do that. Okay, well then shut up, shove it up your ass, and get the fuck out of here, Josh. But you can't have people pay for their tracks unless you clear it with the producers, dude. The only album I have for pay now is the one that's a cappella. I shouldn't have done that.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, because nobody is going to buy one of your albums, much less are they going to pay a single penny for an album of where it's just you rapping. And okay, actually,
well, maybe they would buy it as a gag gift.
I'm going to give credit to Josso at least because at least he understands what a cappella does. I mean, I did not hardly understand what a cappella meant until recently. Basically, a cappella is just the voice part of a given song without the music part at all.
So pretty much a shitty version of it.
Yeah. So basically, it would be like Under Pressure without the dun 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 dun. You know, it would just be Freddie Mercury and David Bowie singing without any bass or guitar or anything in the background to back them up.
So basically, shitty music.
Well, it's not shitty. I mean,
not as good as the original.
Yeah, I mean, I'll wholeheartedly agree with that. But if you can get like a really good singer, well, then just their voice alone can make a good song out of itself.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
I cannot remember what the one song from Eagles is. Okay, the only okay. So anyway, I wanted to say on this before I actually close this out. So basically, he released an album where it's just him rapping when he says that's a cappella. So, I mean, at least he had beats going in the background while he was rapping with this other stuff. But here, it's just him rapping and no backup music even. Wow. As if
that must be torture.
As if shitty could have gotten any shittier. Like, holy shit, Batman.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Kill me.
Yeah. At the DarkCon, transformed your shitty 90-minute stream to a 12-minute ponage. It falls under fair use, you inbred fuck. If I gave permission, it would be fine. So I can just share a 12-minute clip of The Lion King. It plays straight for 12 minutes. It's not. If it plays multiple clips of the movie, I can't understand. Wait, What? The thing is with YouTube, there are lots of videos out there that play little clips,
Snippets,
little like 10, 12-minute clips of movies, 5-minute clips, and so on and so forth. I think like playing 20 or 30 minutes of a movie, that's kind of pushing it. But even then, I would not say that it's outright copyright. But 12 minutes, you're damn right. There's already clips of there's already 12-minute clips of movies. Various different movies on YouTube, and they are not taken down. So this argument falls flat on its face. Holy fuck, Jocelyn. Have you not paid attention to YouTube at all? Like, holy crap.
Do you not know the terms of do you not even know the terms of service?
Exactly. You have to make it transformative, says Red Feather. Somebody said try to limit anything to 20 seconds and talk in between. Wow. Really? Man. What if 20 seconds is not long enough for me to let somebody else talk out their argument for me to fully respond to it, you know? I mean, if, for example, I was to make a response video to Kyle Kalinske on some issue, I'm going to need a whole lot more than 20 seconds of him speaking to play out in order for me to give a cohesive response to that argument. Otherwise, if I just play 20 seconds, a person is going to think that I'm full of shit and trying to represent his arguments correctly and respond to his arguments appropriately, you know?
Yeah, that would be stupid.
So whoever is saying try to limit it to anything, try to limit it to 20 seconds and talk in between, well, they're an idiot.
They really are.
Thanks, Red Feather, for pointing out those type of people in the world. Like, holy crap.
Yeah, there are people out there, sadly.
Red Feather says it's not a rule per se, just advice from another YouTuber. Yeah, I did not think that it was a that I received, she says. LOL.
Don't ever follow that advice then.
Yeah, I did not think at all that it was like a rule from YouTube itself. When you said that, I immediately thought that it was some shitty ass YouTuber who was like some desperate wannabe poser of the same likes of the un-American Josso fuck.
The Josso cuck.
Yeah. Oh man, it's continuing on. At the Dark Con played multiple clips that totaled 12 minutes. That was what I told you, you fucking moron. I Eat Crow at the Dark Con video was transformative. I just didn't like my video being stolen.
So, in other words, he just got salty because he's a little bitch.
Okay. I'm almost tempted to actually give a heart to that one tweet from Josso, because at least he's showing some humility right there. And the fact that he says, I eat crow. I have a feeling that he is like saying that because one of my recent videos was literally Dark Con eats crow. So I'm going to flag his tweet for copyright of the title of one of my videos.
Maybe you should do a response to Josh just to piss him off.
Not worth my time. The guy
I'm joking, of course. I'm joking.
I'm busy on a movie review of Ratchet and Clank, and I still have to do a co-op video response with Loudmouth Reviews against Tom Hartman that we agreed on, but I still haven't worked on it yet. Ha ha ha, no, his channel is called Numbskull, and he is cool. Oh, Red Feather says in the chat. Okay. Well, I'm sorry, Red Feather. I mean, see, he was just fucking with you guys all along, she says about Jocelyn. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't truly know either. He could have been, he couldn't have, he might not have. I don't truly know.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and like the one tweet where he says, I eat crow. Because fuck it, why not?
He probably ate Jim Crow's asshole.
I try to at least be somewhat fair to the guy. I'm not offended, just numbed is cool. Okay, well, I don't know hardly anything about Numbskull, Red Feather, but just by that little piece of advice that you shared of his to me and JJ, so far, I don't care for the guy, and he seems kind of dumb just by what I'm so far being told of the guy. I mean, if there was some like...
It's based off first impressions.
Yeah, it's based off of first impressions. But that's just my honest opinion of the guy. I mean, no offense, but still. Maybe maybe Red Feather does have a point. Jonso is just being sarcastic in all this, even with the crackpot logic on how subjective morality is better than objective morality. Maybe this is just his stupid ass way of trying to gain attention. Is this the stupidest of
He's so
stupids.
desperate.
Yeah, he's so desperate to try and get back with us. But anyway,
Or get back at us.
right. Well, how long? But Red Feather says, well, how long between him starting his shit on Twitter and him saying he ate crow? Maybe he was researching and found out he was incorrect. Well, I don't know. How long? I think it was like 2 hours time. Yeah, actually, it was 2 hours time because the original tweet that he had tagged me and Orion Knight, aka Mjolnir Man, was 2 hours ago, and ever since then, Chairview, thank him, and S-Man have been going back and forth with Jossa the Clown. Anyway,
Maybe I should pay him a visit.
pay him a visit.
I'm joking.
Just don't do any psychopathic shit.
I won't. I won't unless he forces my hand to do so.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you know I don't like to resort to violence.
So now he is trying to save face, says Red Feather. Perhaps. I don't know. I cannot
Maybe,
read
maybe not. I don't know.
Mind. I mean, his mind is a place that I don't want to go to, so thus his mind will always remain a mystery.
And it's probably some place you wouldn't want to go anyway.
Right. Okay, so it is 9:50 right here in Kansas, and 9:50 there in Oklahoma as well. So yeah. It's 9:50 for both of us, so I'm probably going to end the stream right here just because it's getting late.
And you're tired.
Yeah, I'm tired. I have my laundry on the bed that I have to fold before I actually hit the sack. But anyway, that's all I have to say.
Zach hit the sack.
Words are violence, says Red Feather. Yeah, if you're Justin Dennis. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I just get violent to a trans-trender? Not to say that all trans people are trans-trenders. People, disclaimer. Just a disclaimer. See y'all later. Take care. Okay, I'm going to wrap up here. So, yes, abortion. I'm against it. JJ is for allowing it. And apparently, in a legal stance, in Brett Kavanaugh's own position, he is for that same stance as JJ as well. And despite how much I might disagree with him on that circumstance, I would still favor him and wouldn't mind him becoming a judge overall. And by what I am reading here, it looks like that the hearing might have gone pretty well.
Yeah, let's hope he became a judge. So
anyway, we'll do our outros. JJ, give your own outro.
Goodbye, everybody.
Yeah, this is my co-host, the Crusader. Check out his channel. I occasionally mirror his shit. Do another political rant video so that I can mirror that or something. JJ.
I might do it on the no. I don't know. I really don't know if I'm gonna do any of that kind of stuff anymore. I don't really know.
All right. Well, that's your prerogative. But anyway, I am the Dark Conservatarian. This has been Strike Force. See y'all later. Good night and God bless.